One of the biggest reasons people don't lose weight when they're in a weight loss phase is because they're not actually in a caloric deficit. So that's something I've realized being a health coach and helping people in a weight loss transformation. So in this video, I'm going to go over some practical strategies that you can use to make sure you don't overeat when you're in a caloric deficit, which will help you lose weight as a result. So let's go. The first one is a super simple one, and it's called a 500 calorie cap. This means that whenever you have your first meal of the day, it's not going to go over 500 calories. Now this is really, really good because what it does is it forces you to have a smaller meal, which is also good nutritionally, but then it saves you having more for later. Because one of the biggest problems is people have a big first meal, right? Let's have their first meal, 1,000, let's say 1,000 calories, right? Then you go to the gym, then you do a long ass day of work, then you come back and you've got 1,000 calories left between two meals. That's not really feasible. A lot of people cannot do that. So one simple tip you can do is just force yourself to have a nice, smaller breakfast, because you don't really need that much food in the morning or when you have your first meal, because the day is not really elapsed. And what that forces you to do is you have way more food to eat later. Now this is a super simple strategy. You can use it when you're on the go, you can use it when you're at home, you can use it doing whatever. Now two of my favorite meals for this 500 calorie cap, one is a smoothie. You can throw in like a lean whey protein with minimal carbs and an omelette or eggs of some sort. These two are really, really good for that because it's fast, it gives you your nutrients, it gives you high protein because that's going to keep you feeling full. And then plus it allows you to feast in the evening, which is pretty much what I like to do. So implement that strategy if you are someone who's got a busy lifestyle, and I promise you it's super simple and it can work no matter what. And imagine, just think about it, if you're in the airport and you're going outside, all you have to do is just look and see, right, is what I'm going to have as my first meal 500 calories? It's a really, really simple way to do it, and I guarantee you if you implement that, you will be in a caloric deficit regularly. Next point is actually a cheeky one, and it's actually to have a weekly food budget when it comes to money. So if you've got an online banking app, like Revolut or Monzo or whatever, a lot of these things you can have pockets. So what you can do is start making a grocery pocket for the month. So let's say you give yourself £50 every single month, or £60, sorry. So let's say you give yourself 50, 60 quid every single week, and that is it. And what you can do is you can only spend food via that budget. And so if you run out of budget, you're not allowed to buy any more food. So what you're actually doing is you're restricting your money, which means you restrict your food. And because you restrict your food, you actually restrict your caloric intake. So you're actually going to the root cause, the root problem. And also you got to think, in this food budget, you're going to also have, your meals and snacks and things like that. And if you're going to have a meal outside, once a week, then make sure you add that in at the start of the month. So maybe add 30, 40 pound extra, whatever it is that you do, have that in at the start of the month, but make sure all the food that you buy comes out of that weekly financial pocket. And I promise you, it's a small tweak, but you'll find yourself buying less and only buying what you need, which will actually help you in your weight loss journey, helping you stay in your caloric deficit. Next is to have a modified snack drawer. So if you're a snacker, which I find a lot of people are, a lot of clients that are in a weight loss phase, then you're not just going to be able to give up that habit completely. So what you can do is still satisfy that urge, but do it in a smarter way. So what you can do is just find some really low calorie snacks and buy them in that weekly food budget that I mentioned before, and have them in your house, stocked and ready, which prevents you from going outside to do it. So some really good options are like rice cakes. You can get them Snacker Jacks flavors, loads of different flavors. You can get the chocolate one, you can get the caramel one, salt and pepper one, whatever. You can get, for example, oat biscuits, which are pretty good. You can get, the Walker's baked crisps instead of fried crisps. You can get, cereal bars, which are less than 100 calories. But what I'm saying is, if you've got a tendency to snack, just trying to go cold turkey doesn't work. But if you have these, let's call it less damaged versions in place, you can eat those and they will satisfy your craving of snacking without helping you go overboard. Trying to get rid of something just like that very, very rarely works. That's why you want to almost wean it out. Like right now, I can easily go for months without having some, big dirty cheat meal. But I will indulge myself in a couple of, rice cakes here and there, oat biscuits, a flapjack here and there, because I've trained my brain to do that, but it takes a bit of time. So if you're in the weight loss phase, try to do that because it'll only make your life easier. You know, instead of having a 300 calorie cookie, if you can train your brain to enjoy a 100 calorie cereal bar, which still got chocolate in it, still got that sweetness, still got that crunch or whatever, you will enjoy the snack itself, but it won't do as much damage. So have those snacks in place beforehand. Next is to start having high volume food. So I remember when I was on my cut, I would throw in vegetables with almost everything. So if I was having pasta, I'd put in just like a 100 gram of peas, 150 gram of peas. If I was having chicken, I'll just throw in half a bag of lettuce. I'll have like beans and carrots and things like that. And yes, it's good for the vegetable point of view, it's good to get those nutrients in, but honestly, I was just thinking of it from a practical point of view. See, these foods which I listed out there, they're really, really good because they have a high volume, so you can have a lot of them, 100, 200 grams, but it's very, very low in calories. So what that means is it helps you stay full, prevents you from overeating while you actually still feel full. And if you're feeling full, it's going to prevent you from overeating. So it's like a nice positive cycle that you're getting out of it. So make sure you implement that. And I promise you, these foods, like these vegetables, you can pretty much throw them in with anything. It just works. Like if you're having a chicken meal, you can easily fry an onion and eat an onion with it or whatever, or like a couple of bell peppers or whatever. Super simple. If you're an air fryer, you can just put it all in together. So what I'm saying is utilize these vegetables and low calorie foods with high volume so you will stay full, and do this regularly and you'll have less cravings in your day-to-day, which will prevent you from overeating. Think smart. Next, similar to the last point, is start having one pot stews. These are killer because you can just prep them and you don't even need to be there. I literally mean you can get whatever food you want, meat, vegetables, potatoes, put them into a big pot, fill it up with water and leave that for a good couple of hours, and you can come back and it will be reduced and ready to eat. This is useful because that broth, or that soup or stew or whatever it is so full of water. That water will help you stay full. And like you said, it's got minimal calories. And plus, if you just throw in some seasoning, that food will taste banging anyway. So whenever I'm in a maintenance phase or if I want to lose weight, this is my go-to because it's so low in calories, but it's so filling that I can eat it and not feel like I need to eat more. So you want to think about how you can get as many of these meals into your game plan as much as possible, because that's going to make your life easier. And plus, the big advantage with one pot is it's high bang for your buck. So if you spend, 15 minutes putting everything in that pot, you're going to get 4 or 5 meals out of it, depending on the size of your pot. But also, while that stew or whatever it is, that broth is cooking away, you can just go away and do your homework, or work on your business, or do something in the meantime. Spend time with your family, just chill out, because that's going to get cooked while you're doing that, so you don't need to be there. So these type of things make it very, very easy for you to implement in your day-to-day. The next point is to have some regular eating windows. You see, when you're in a weight loss phase, you're in a caloric deficit, you're going to be eating less food than your body burns, which means if it's your first time, you're going to start feeling hungry. The best thing that you can do to adapt to this fast is to have regular eating windows. And I literally mean like 1 hour windows where you eat again and again every single day, because then your hunger will start to adapt to that time, which is going to make life way easier. So if you're having one meal, for example, at 9 a.m, then another one, the next day you have your first meal at 1 p.m, then the next day you have your meal at 11 a.m. Your body's just feeling irregular, doesn't have the time to adapt, doesn't have the time to let you know when to eat. Whereas if you give yourself the same time windows day after day after day to eat, your body will actually adapt to that. And so you feel hungry at the right time, exactly when you need to eat. Promise you this works. And just this itself is going to help you from overeating, because as soon as I feel hungry, the food is coming, so it's fine. And that's just a strategy to help you manage your hunger. But quick tips from me, hope that helps. That's it from me. Goodbye.